Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Divorce among adults over 50, often called gray divorce, has become increasingly more common, with people frequently blaming empty nest syndrome. But now there's a new term on the rise that captures a bigger picture. Here to share more, we welcome body literacy and empowerment expert Alyx Coble-Frakes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So overall, are divorce rates going down, but for this specific age group, they're actually rising?
Yes, they're actually rising for this demographic, and it's estimated that about 70% of the divorces initiated by women are happening during perimenopause, so this midlife shift.
So interesting. So tell me about this term, Menodivorce. What exactly are we talking about?
We're talking about that age demographic of women when they're in that hormonal shift in their life during perimenopause and working their way towards menopause. I'm not sure why they didn't call it peri-divorce, but they've decided to go with menodivorce, really just talking about this midlife transition. And women are at that pivotal place with their careers, their relationships. Maybe it's an empty nest thing, but it really has a lot to do with how we turn inward to ourselves during perimenopause. And it gives us a chance to reflect to see if things are working or maybe not working so much in our relationships.
Okay, so maybe not so much a symptom of what's happening in your body, but kind of the clarity that comes with that as you're evaluating where those things stand.
Absolutely. Estrogen makes us act in very pro-social ways because it's when our body is still excited about reproduction. And as we move towards menopause, women have less and less estrogen, making us go more inwardly focused. And strangely, we're only, I think, about 5 different species on the planet that has a menopause, which really indicates a really big intention for women after their reproductive life in order to give back and be more outwardly focused with their own mission rather than focusing on reproduction.
Okay, are there certain societal factors or shifts that are contributing to these numbers going up so much?
I think as more women have access to the workforce and have been building these careers, they're having a little bit more financial flexibility when it comes to this point in their life. And they're able to get more intentional to see, is this relationship something that's still growing with me, or is it time for me to move on to the next season of my life?
So let's talk about if someone's watching this and thinking, I don't know if that's me today, but maybe it could be eventually. What are some ways that we could maybe better foster our relationships to not end up in this situation?
Yeah, I think tracking is a really big indicator. So when you are, as soon as you hear this, please start tracking your menstrual cycle. And if you're already in perimenopause, continue to track your symptoms. And then if you're noticing those changes or that disconnect with your partner, this is that time to have an honest conversation. And the conversation may be really challenging, but it will be definitely better than dealing with the aftermath of a divorce during this phase of life. So I think when we can have that conversation, it really is bringing couples together.
Well, and it makes sense. Every woman's experience is different, and you cannot predict how your body is going to react or behave in this time. And if your partner isn't 100% supportive, I can see how that would be super challenging for even the most loving relationship.
Absolutely. I think we've paid a lot of attention to men's midlife health and wellness for a long time. They've been recommending testosterone injections and a lot of different support, even some of those medications to enjoy and support libido as men age. And yet this kind of support hasn't been around for women in their midlife transitions. And so I believe if when we see the science catch up and more support is offered to women in midlife, we could also see a reduction in those divorces. But that's going to take that investment from the medical community as well as partners speaking up on behalf of their spouses.
That makes a lot of sense, and it sounds like the opportunity here, even just having this conversation, is bringing more spotlight to that issue, that it is really hard and there really isn't the medical backing that we need for this part of so many women's lives.
Absolutely. I think women are being more vocal about that and they're looking for treatment. And so the medical community has got to kind of catch up with this. And I know there's been a lot of work in the last decade, but women are really needing that additional support. And doesn't do anyone a lot of favors when we talk about women being crazy or irrational or too hormonal during this phase. What women really need access to is education and support about how to work with themselves during this life transition.
And busting those stereotypes, like you just said. I mean, we've all heard those phrases before, and it makes me cringe to even think that, but people still kind of think and say those things all the time.
Yeah, women have been hearing that from our first period all the way through menopause, right? You're like, oh, are you PMSing? What's wrong with you? Oh, like it's always something talking about how horrible it is to be a woman. And we really want people to reclaim and understand that with healthy cyclical habits, they can have a fantastic relationship with their cycle from their first period all the way through menopause.
I love that. We can do it. It's possible. We do need a little support to get there, right? But I love that perspective that we can make this better. It doesn't have to be this way.
No, it doesn't have to be this way. And I have a daughter and I want to create a world where she can feel really good as she's growing up with her cycle. And that takes us being able to have open and honest conversations about this, just like we're having today. So I'm so excited to be able to have this with you.
Oh, same. I'm right there with you. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.